I am here to share about Books of Shadows. I know that on my journey, I have been using Books of Shadows. I've been using, I don't know, I kind of see Books of Shadows as a witch's journal of her magical endeavors. So I've always kept a journal of some sort since I began my journey of becoming a better person like years and years ago. And then as I discovered my path, I also started journals for that. So one of my most biggest, I don't know, my most important one, well, not even important, my first one, the one that I look in a lot is this one. And this here is the one that is in my kitchen. This is my lotions, potions, and brews. Any spell work that I've done with that, which I've made things for people that way. Oh, I actually seen that I got sigil work in here, which actually doesn't belong on this one. But this one here is the one that I use. You can even see that I have for my lotions a sigil for healthy skin, things like that. So this one here lives in my kitchen because that's where I do this kind of work, where I would make teas, because there's tea recipes in here, there's magical ink recipes in here, and if I'm going to be doing any of that stuff, I'm going to be making them in my kitchen first. So I have that one, and I also do art journaling. So this is a big art journal, and part of the process of art journaling that I've done, I don't regularly do, is you do the art and then you write. A lot of writing. And I know a lot of people do this, especially if they do morning pages and things. This one here, the message taken away from this one is a desire is the divine wishing to express itself through you. So, you come back and get those little bits of wisdom. I don't have one that's just for writing. That is the biggest one I have for writing, was that last one. With that, mostly my journals consist of things like this. This is my art journal, and I consider it magical because I do work with sacred geometry in here. I fall down my rabbit holes of art. Here we go with yin and yang, and these to me are all very much magic and deserve to be in here. There's crystal grids. This is actually a blessing here. I also do crystal grid work that I'm still working on. So this is also what I consider part of my Book of Shadows or Witch's Journal, because there's magic in these photos also, or in these artworks also. But I am also not opposed to this. I don't know how many people do this, but I do this all the time, is I grab note cards. I have piles of note cards everywhere, and I write stuff on everything. And then that's why you've seen stuff falling out of my kitchen journal, just because I do just shove these in. This one here is about how to make color pages, but nothing is ever set in stone as into how you need to journal. I also use folders so that I can put in dittos and any printouts or anything that I have, when I study anything, like astrology or the sigil work, because I have sigil work everywhere because I use tracing paper, and you don't get journals with tracing paper. So all of these things will be put into a journal with adhesives later, because this is important work. They're the evolution of important signs to me. This is a really important one to me, and actually so is this one here. The sigil's really important to me. So it is important to keep track of these things and to see how the outcomes of things are. I've made lotions for people, and I try to tell them to give me your input back. Did it work? Did you like it? things like that, because my lotions are magic. They have crystal elixirs in them, and they have Reiki energy just poured right into them. And then they also have sigil spell work on them. So I want to know, how did all that work for you? So if you ever do get one of my lotions, please, please, please tell me. Or any of my teas. My teas go the same way. They are Reiki blessed. They have sigil work done with them. And although I don't post a lot of that stuff on packaging or things like that, because, I just don't, that's what's happening. I mean, when I go to blend tea, it is a magical event for me. There is ceremony, there is ritual in that, to make sure that when I'm making it for people, that all of my best can be there. So in that process, I write down everything about it. The time of day, the moon cycles we're in. So I have a lot of information that way, and that's information that I can dive into later when I am asked questions, because I get some sometimes, not often, but every once in a while. I also want to show that, I showed you here some, you can get the fancy line journals too. This one's empty because I don't really do lines. Oh, I'm facing it the wrong way. Oh, this camera thing is weird. But you can. I mean, this right here is a very perfect, very good bullet journal, which what led me to organized journaling was a bullet journal. And, that's something like this. But you don't have to. If you're one of those people that likes to craft or likes to upcycle things, I have so much art. I have art coming out of my toes. But this is one of my pieces of artwork. And I folded it up. It's just folded. And I put some pages in, colored pages. This is printer paper. It's not anything fancy. And I made this book in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, nice and easy. Sewed it together and everything. So you can do that. This is the same thing with 2 signatures, a little bit fancier. I have folded over edges and stuff, but you don't even need to do that. I have one here, if I can find it. This here, this little leafy thing, it's not together yet, but this little leafy part, this is a page out of a book. I thought it was beautiful. And then I grabbed construction paper and, printer paper. So easy peasy. They don't have to be big. They can be for a certain amount of time. This is my journal for fall. So when I go out and do stuff in fall, I want to write about it in this journal. If I have fall thoughts, if I have acorn theories, I wouldn't want to put them in here. Could be just poetry, but it's little and it may not last, for the thing. Here's another one. They're 2 different styles. This one's made to have 2 signatures in it in an accordion fashion. So, I'm also getting ready to make ones that are made with old boxes, like cereal boxes, because seriously, that's how easy they are to make. So, I think it's important to have one. One. Have 5. Have a kitchen one, have a bedroom one, have one for spell work, have one for, poetry, because poetry is very important, I think. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on journaling. And one of the things that's brought me back to thinking about making these books and stuff again, besides the fact that I have far too much art, is this book. This book here, Adriana's Thread, or Ariadne's thread. Sorry, I am not. Ariadne's friend. Dear Lord, where is my coffee? But this book here is I've had it for a few years, and it is the journey. It's a journey through your own craft to figure out exactly not what craft yours is. It's about goddess, religion, witchcraft, things like that, spell work and everything like that. But it gives you a bunch of thoughts on how you can do it. It gives you options so that you can hone your craft to you, so it can be personal to you. And so this is a 13 cycle book. There's 13 cycles in it. It is a workbook. And I am planning on starting it in January. Okay, I've read it and I've started some of the projects already to make videos for practice. But officially, I'm going to start this in January on the new moon, which I believe is the 13th. And that is one of the things that she recommends, is to have a journal, a book of shadows. And however you decide to do that, if you decide to do it, it's up to you. If you would like to join me on this journey, grab the book with me. We can set up a time to chat. I plan on, like I said, I'm trying to get over myself. And so I plan on making videos of some of the things I've done. I have a little video of making these journals. So this is and there is a craft for a cone of protection and things like that. So if you're interested, let me know, because that's going to be my next journey, is through that book to hone my craft. Although I have found recently, I think, what might be my way of doing my own witchcraft. I have dived into art, and now I'm diving into other things, and just recently everything's kind of come together, and I'm organizing my thoughts on this coming together, I guess, because it's all just getting shoved together. And if I just poured it out of my mouth like it goes on in my head, well, it would be a wild ride, wouldn't it? So, yeah, so this is to get over myself, to share, I'm terribly excited about all of it, and about my art and spell work and sigils and incantations and poetry and haiku and the stars and the moon and astrology. And I am going to start that journey. And if you'd like to join me, I'd love it. So just, get in contact with me, whichever way you know me from, whether it's Instagram or on Facebook, or if you can text me if you have my phone number. I don't know. Don't call, because I won't answer that. I'm not that kind of person. But yeah, I'm really excited. So, and this is going to be a book of crafting too. There is a lot of crafting in this book. Drawing, crafting, making, being, which we're all trying to do. So that's it. That's me getting over myself. Another video. Lights and everything.